Hello again, everyone. Edwin Learnard back once again. In this YouTube astrological segment, I'm going to be dissertating and talking about the North Node transiting the 8th house in a natal chart. Now, on average, the North Node will traverse a house for approximately a year and a half. However, if your house size is a little bit larger than average, then the North Node will be in there for a little bit of a longer duration. If your house size is a little bit smaller than average, then the North Node will be in there for a little bit of a shorter period. Well, anyway, people, first thing I'll look at when the North Node transits one's natal 8th house, well, this could be a period where you put more emphasis, development connected with shared resources. It could be strongly about sharing your resources. It doesn't necessarily mean that you're looking for somebody to share resources with, like you're going to be in need necessarily, but you might be sharing your own resources with someone, because when you have the North Node transiting the 8th, the South Node, of course, is transiting the 2nd. And this could be a time where you might be putting, maybe there might be certain emphasis, overemphasis perhaps, on possessions and material items. It could be a period where you might begin to realize and be cognizant of the fact that the material items and things that are monetary are not going to be the all-to-end means of happiness for this time when the South Node is in your 2nd house. And the thing about this too is it could be a time too where you might take some of that energy from that 2nd house and incorporate it into the 8th house where you're having the North Node transit. The 2nd house is connected with values, and during this time, the South Node transiting the 2nd, you might be learning more about values, additional information about them, as far as what values are important to you, what you feel are important to you. But what you may be able to do is you might, with the 8th house being the house of transformation, it might be a period where you might be transforming these values. And the thing too is, South Node transiting the 2nd, well, there might be a lot of emphasis on generating income. And what you may do is you may take some of this income that you've generated and maybe help other people out, because the North Node is transiting the 8th. The 8th house is connected with shared resources. And you may find out during this time, the 8th house is about transformation. So the North Node transiting the 8th can put emphasis on this, and a lot of progression may be made as far as this goes. This could be the North Node, when it's in transit, could reflect an area where you need to address and confront in life. And there might be some situations, maybe even connected with literal death, that you may have to confront. It could be figurative endings, and that could be, well, with the South Node transiting the 2nd, it could be the end of maybe putting an overemphasis or really putting more significance than is necessary on things of a monetary nature. The 2nd house is also about our self-esteem and self-worth. And when the North Node is transiting the 8th, you have the South Node transiting the 2nd, and it could indicate that there might have been more of an emphasis put on that and what is necessary. And really, it could be about transforming, now being with the North Node transiting your 8th, transforming this idea that really that money could be make you give you more self-esteem and having more self-worth. Well, really, there might be a transformation where you really feel that having the transformation, having the North Node transiting the 8th, that the transformation that you make is really what it might be necessary on a very big level, is what may actually make you happy. And that transformation may be connected perhaps with getting away from things that are connected with making, putting an overemphasis on generating income. And the thing about it is 8th house is also about psychology. So this could be a time where you might emphasize the psychological reasons for things. The 8th house is also about, really could be about deep research, and really it might be a time where you might really go inside yourself to really see what is really about you that you need to make that change, perhaps that strong transformation, perhaps. And I think what's interesting right now at the time of this video, that the North Node is transiting Virgo. And if anyone is having this current transit, and they're having it in their eighth house, it could be a time where maybe somebody might even become interested in analytical psychology during this time, maybe studying astrology with that Virgo meticulousness and that strong attention to detail and being very analytical about it. It could be having maybe even getting loans or something that are pragmatic and practical, things that are connected with shared resources that are practical. And it could be in also finding the details in credit card debt. The South Node transiting the second, well, at this time it would be Pisces, South Node in the second, and this could be a time where the person may be extricating themselves from unrealistic financial endeavors, deluding themselves maybe into thinking that money is the ultimate ends means of happiness, and thinking that possessions will make them happy, and it could be some delusion and deception with that, with Pisces South Node transiting the second at this point in time, at the time that I'm making this video. So those are some things to look at as far as this transit goes. And it's also important to look at the aspects, if any, that are made to your natal planets and points from this transit, as this could impact the transit. Now let's say, for example, that the transiting North Node is making a sextile or trine to your natal Mars. Well, this could be perhaps auspicious for taking action and initiating development, perhaps of that current karmic mission and purpose. And being in the 8th, it could somehow be connected with regeneration or transformation, and maybe even tied into an 8th house subject such as astrology, occult, supernatural, psychology, forensics, investigation. Now let's take another example. Let's say that the transiting North Node is making a square, inconjunct, or opposition to your natal Jupiter. Well, this could indicate some vacillation between over and under emphasis on areas that are needed to be confronted and addressed. And being in the 8th house, this could be tied in perhaps to some kind of debt, like credit card debt, perhaps, maybe even taxes, and maybe even things that are connected with a way you feel you need to make some kind of strong major change or transformation in your life. And maybe this something is tied into shared resources as well. Well, anyway, people, that'll conclude this YouTube astrological segment for the North Node transiting the 8th house in a natal chart. And stay tuned next time, where I will be talking about the North Node transiting the 9th house in a natal chart. Two things I want to get with you on before I head out. Firstly, the stars may impel but do not compel. And secondly, never isolate any single astrological element, aspect, planetary placement, position, configuration, influence, or what have you, and make an analysis of a person, astrologically speaking, based on this alone, because astrologically speaking, the person is the sum of all their components in their natal chart and not just one. Until next time, people, stay well.